everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to explain the article annotation assignment. And more importantly, I wanted to justify why we are doing this and what you're going to get out of it. Now, throughout this course, we're going to be discussing some complex and often controversial issues in corrections. You'll encounter debates about incarceration, rehabilitation, and other topics where reasonable people will disagree. One of the goals of this course is to help you move beyond opinions and assumptions and really learn how to engage with empirical evidence. That's what I want for you as a master's student. And that's where the article annotation assignment comes in. So every module will include one or more scholarly readings, and rather than simply reading the article and moving on, or not reading the article, right? I want you to actively engage with the article. The annotation process encourages you to identify important points, to recognize the key findings, and most importantly, to ask questions and do that connection of the research to the topics we're discussing in class. So you want to think about the article annotation assignment as a conversation with the article author. As you read the entire article, by the way, so as you're reading the entire article, I want you to think about questions like, what's the author trying to argue here? What evidence do they provide that supports that argument? What findings surprise you? Something about their methods, is it concerning to you? What questions do you still have at the end? And then at the end, of course, how does this research connect to your offender, the correctional system overall, or any issues that we see in the real world? Good readers do more than just absorb information. They interact with it. They challenge it. They connect it to other ideas. They think critically about what that information means and why it matters. And this is exactly what this assignment is designed to help you practice. Now, the annotations themselves do not need to be lengthy. I'm not looking for a paragraph written on this article. What I'm looking for is the quality of your engagements over the quantity of your comments. So a thoughtful question, an observation, or a connection is going to be a lot more valuable than a long summary of something that the author already wrote. So when you complete your annotations, I want you to physically engage with the article, right? So I want some hands-on highlighting, underlining, circles, arrows, comments, notes, crossing out, whatever you want to do with the article. So avoid just highlighting large text. Okay, that highlighting is good if there's something really key, but I want to know the why. So show me why that text block stood out for you. So, what about it? If you highlight a big chunk of text, add a little note to it. Why are you highlighting? What's the question or what's the observation behind your highlighting? Remember that the purpose of the assignment is not to decide whether or not you agree with the author. In fact, some of the most interesting annotations will come from a respectful disagreement. So if you question an argument, if you think there's a limitation with the methods, if you see an issue from a different perspective, that's awesome. That's totally appropriate. I love that type of interaction. That is getting at my goal of critically engaging with the material. So don't be afraid to be not controversial, but don't be afraid to disagree. Like, think real critically. Don't just agree with the author because the author said so. Now, over time, these annotations will help you prepare for class discussions, for your offender analyses, and for the final exam video. And the more actively that you engage with these readings, the easier it will become to find those connections between the research findings and the correctional issues we're exploring. By the end of this course, my hope is that through this assignment, you'll be confident not only in discussing correctional issues, but also in evaluating the evidence behind these discussions. Now, if you have any questions about the annotation process throughout the class, please don't hesitate to reach out. We can always get together via Zoom and just chat it out. You can show me what you're doing. We can talk it out. So good luck, and I look forward to reading your thoughts and your observations throughout the semester.